In this video we will talk about a very important component in Ansible, which is SSH. So let's go and optimize some SSH. So Ansible is using SSH to manage hosts, and establishing a new SSH session relatively takes a lot of time. And to make SSH connections more efficient, 3 different SSH features can be used. First is Control Master. Control Master is an option that allows multiple simultaneous SSH connections with a remote host using one network connection. Control Persist keeps the connection open for a specific number of seconds. And pipelining allows more commands to use a simultaneous SSH connection. So the idea here is to optimize SSH in such a way that you don't need to open a new connection for every single activity that is going to happen. And in order to use these options, you use the SSH connection section in Ansible.cfg to specify how these options are going to be used. And this is what it will look like. I'll show you in a demo in just a little bit. Also, if you are going to optimize SSH, you need to configure sudo for pipelining. When pipelining is enabled, the required TTY sudo option must be disabled. A required TTY is a sudo security option that prevents sudo commands that are not started from a TTY. And that is something that doesn't go very well together with Ansible in general. So you may already have it disabled or with SSH optimized Ansible specifically. So to verify that this option is disabled, use vi sudo and look for defaults !required TTY to specifically turn it off. Now let's implement these options. So let me demonstrate. If you want to implement this SSH optimization first, you need to make sure that there is an Ansible CFG. And in Ansible CFG, you add a section SSH connection. And in SSH connection, you add SSH args equals -o control master is auto -o control persist is 120 seconds, and pipelining is true. Then we also need to take care of the sudoers configuration. How do we do that? First, I want to give you a tiny little bit of insight. So let's do an Ansible all, or just Ansible one host is enough to show what I want to show you. I want to show you grab defaults on etc sudoers. In case you are thinking, hey Sander, you are making a typo. No, I'm not. I'm doing this on purpose. Instead of grabbing the entire string, I'm using grab on a partial string so that I don't need to worry about uppercase and lowercase and stuff like that. And I made a typo. Let's run this again. And there we go. Here you can see all the different defaults settings. Now, in many cases, if you are using multiple of the same, then only the last will win. That is not the case here. And that means that we don't have to overwrite anything. We can just make sure that this defaults required TTY is present. And that looks like something that we can perfectly do with line in file. So line in file, Ansible doc line in file. And do we have any examples? Well, line in file, make sure that here we can see line in file does not, and here we can see line in file does. This is actually a replace. I don't need any replace. I just need a line. So line is going to contain the exact line that I need to be in my etc sudoers. Let's put that in a playbook. I like putting it in a playbook and that allows me a little bit more control. So tune sudo .yaml, 3 dashes name, optimize sudo for SSH, hosts all tasks. And in the tasks, I am going to use line in file. So the line that I need is defaults require TTY. which means that we don't require a TTY anymore. Back to the documentation, because we are tuning the sudo configuration, then there is also this validation thing. So validate, and there we can see the validate command that I definitely want to have in exactly the same way in my configuration. So let me paste it, validate user admin, and oh, maybe it's useful if we specify the name of the etc sudoers file as well. So let's run this Ansible playbook on tune sudo.yaml, and then we can see that it actually has been changed. Now, can we measure this? Well, if you want to really measure if this is effective, then I would say run no matter which Ansible command before and after using Linux time. Linux time is giving a time overview of the amount of time that it takes to complete the command. But of course, this only makes sense if you've done it before and if you do it afterwards. So that is how you can apply some basic SSH optimization